All right, we back. My expert opinion, the greatest show in the
world. Yo,
Mac,
Mac,
I said it.
Yo, Mac, yo.
We
didn't
do this,
announce.
We do this every single
He didn't announce.
episode.
Because that's always going to happen.
Hit the like, hit the share, let everybody know you in here. Don't cost you no paper unless you's a mother
Hater.
And don't be one of those.
That sounds
So
right.
hit the button. It's free, man. It's free. Mac, what's good?
Salute, King. Shout out to Amir Ali. I see you doing your thing. Killed it at the Roots picnic. And now you dropped that hot ass single. Keep going, boy. I'm looking right at you.
Shout out to my man E. Ness, who was up there rocking.
Yeah.
I always comment on his posts. I tell people like, yo, this guy's amazing. And I'm happy to see, you know, your doors are opening for you. So shout out to E. Ness.
He want to
Shout out
pull up
whole
too.
Philly. Yeah.
E. Ness want to pull up. Shout out to E.
We
Ness,
gotta
the
make
whole
that happen.
Philly.
He definitely ducked the bullet because we were supposed to battle a couple years ago. So
And now this is happening.
it is what it is.
Spun back around to this.
Shout out to the gang. Now, look. You can't be on the phones either. You gotta make this. It's important. It's important. You know, we got to media train the guests and all that.
Wow.
Shout out to my man Ro too for the big Brooklyn tees.
Yo, Mac,
big Brooklyn.
Mac, since this is an episode, I'm sure you've been dying to have.
I need you to stop.
I
need you to stop.
I need you to just
He thinks
roll out.
because I have dreads, I'm the backpack dude in the room.
Roll it out.
But you know what? No problem. No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, misters, sisters, and blisters, we have two of the finest in the culture to sit down and ever do it. I said that. It's the truth. You can don't argue with me, argue with your mama. Chi-Town's finest. And one of the original cornerstones of this beat making shit, Godfather of the remix and all that finest, we have none other than the Chocolate Boy Wonda himself, Pete Rock, and the Chi-Town legend, hip hop god known as Common. Make some noise. Could have went further, but off the top.
Man, I get it. He asked me, did I have I ain't got no nickname. He's like, you ain't got no nickname like Chocolate Boy Wonda. I got to come up with something, man.
But I got we could be the white chocolate boy.
Hey, white chocolate was cold. Y'all remember white chocolate?
Yes, sir.
Yo, he was cold on the court.
Facts.
Yo.
Jason Williams.
Jason Williams was cold.
Now, we was having this conversation before these cameras started rolling. Not yesterday. It's past weekend. Summer Jam went down. Hot 97 Summer Jam. I'm sure all of y'all are familiar. If you're not, it's one of the biggest concerts that happens throughout the summer out here in New York. Method Man and Redman performed. The dynamic
as a part
duo.
of a Mr. C tribute.
Yes.
Right.
And you know, these guys are legends. They put on a show every time I've seen them. The energy has been electric. They rock the crowd.
Facts.
For some reason, during this performance, Meth and Red, they weren't satisfied with the reception from the crowd. And Meth put out a statement saying, I will never do Summer Jam again. The age gap has become too great, too wide.
Way too big.
Ageism in hip hop. We here now. Now that we got two legends here. How do y'all feel about this?
Man, I feel like when I first was just listening to music, I never thought about anybody's age. Like for me, I was listening to KRS-One, like I didn't know how old he was. I listened to Michael Jackson. I listened, to the Commodores and Shaka Khan. I wasn't thinking like, man, they older or younger. I just appreciated the music. But I think, that some of, each generation is you're going to have your own thing for you. Sure. Like, meaning, like, I understand, like, hip-hop was that for us. I know if initially, a lot of older people was like, man, this ain't even music, but then they eventually respected it as music.
Right.
So you get that from different generations sometimes, but I think that the connection come in communication, understanding that like, yo, these younger people, they doing their thing. Yo, these people that have come through the business and come through the music, they got these experiences and we respect that and honor that. The places I don't see ageism a lot is when I see young artists that actually study the music.
Right.
Like they like still young, giving you that fresh, whatever they give young freshness, but they still might go sample Slum Village, and you like, damn, you know Slum Village, you know, like,
right.
you know, and they'll reference, you know, Pete Rock, or they'll reference Rakim or something, and I'm like, that's what let me know you studied the art form.
Like you
respect the art, and to me, that's the biggest gap. If you don't know like the roots of something, it's hard to have a standard that's at a certain level.
Right. Well, I think I made a comment to Keyz tonight, and I know Keyz a streamer. I watch his show. I enjoy the shit. Like some of y'all kind of came down on me like, yo, he's just a streamer. But when he reacted to Killer Mike winning the award, he was like, who the hell is that? And I felt like that was disrespectful. Like, yo, that's Killer Mike. How could you be saying that?
Yeah.
And you up here premiering other people's albums and you don't know who Killer Mike is.
Yeah.
So I think at some point there was a disconnect.
Yeah.
Do you guys know when that happened? Can you pinpoint for you when you stopped checking for the newer artists?
I don't remember what year it was, but I remember hearing about a meeting that was being had in the music business.
Oh, that's way back.
And
way
how
back.
they were gonna, control every aspect of the game, and how they were bringing in new young artists to, and actually kind of telling them what to do and what they want and how they want it, instead of letting the artists be free.
Hold on. Is this conspiracy alert?
Doesn't have to be a conspiracy.
It don't have to be, but I would say that young people are easily manipulated at times. But for me, when I was young, it goes back to when I was young, I was easily manipulated by music. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what drove me my whole life since I was a kid. So I'm thinking about now and then and comparing the two, and I'm like, it's a big difference from when people really like things and when people just say they like things. So it's like a uneven balance, you know what I'm saying? But,
who was this meeting between?
Huh?
Who was this meeting
the young
between?
and the old, young and the vets, you know what I'm saying? Like, like people who's been doing it and people who's just starting to do it.
Oh, that's not the meeting I thought you was talking about.
No, I'm not even talking about the meeting no more. I'm just saying,
okay,
I just mentioned that because, this is what's.
But I think
Bone Thugs and them mentioned it.
Yeah, I think if you're asking when the ageism gap started, I think the first schism comes from that meeting, and the goal of the meeting was to influence the youth to commit more crimes, to pack up the prisons.
We're talking about the gangster rap. Prison.
And if you look back at it, the original schism in hip hop, especially generational, it didn't start off as a generational thing. It started off as a culture thing.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden it wasn't cool to be black, educated, pro-black, educated, for black people, educated, et cetera, et cetera. And it became more popular to be a criminal, crime, street shit. So you look at NWA and put him next to Public Enemy.
Right.
Two totally different.
That was going on in the 90s.
Right.
A lot.
And that's where we were.
Like that.
But then all of a sudden you started to see an influx of one and way less of the other. So you don't hear so much Poor Righteous Teachers anymore, but you hear Tim Dog. You don't hear X-Clan like you did, but here's Ice Cube records. And not nothing against any of those folk, but all of a sudden it wasn't cool to be smart, pro-black, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Kind of led
to me, it was an unfair balance.
I wouldn't say it wasn't cool.
No, it definitely was not as sexy. One was promoted and pushed as being way more sexy than the other.
But when you got like, okay, the Fuji still going diamond.
Yeah.
Lauren still going diamond.
Yeah.
But we're not seeing the trend of
more of those.
Exactly.
That's
Label
my point.
saying, okay, this is now a genre. Let's sign some more people that sound like this and push them out.
Yeah.
We still saw Common was still rocking.
But that's what leads to the conspiracy theory, because if
that
it was all about numbers, and Lauryn Hill sells all these records and Outkast sells all these records, how come we don't have more of those? If it was about money, if it was really about oh, look what's sold. Let's get them more of that stuff.
Because
They like
the
that.
conscious stuff we was talking was real life things. You know, even though you had real dudes in the 90s that did street shit, but then you had people talking conscious and positive. Like you mentioned X-Clan, Rest Development, all them dudes, like,
Public
you know,
Enemy.
Tried, Us, you know, Common, De La, you know, we rapped about fun things that happened in our lives, man, how we grew up. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's you know, it's an unfair fight, man, when you add in that type of negativity in something that's positive like music.
But I do think we too got to take some responsibility. Like it's for me as a dude that came from the 90s. Some of the when I stopped like really being in tune with the music, then I stopped paying attention as much, and that means I ain't giving the youngins the wisdom. I ain't sitting down taking time. If you start ignoring them, it's like the streets. Like it happened in Chicago. I know it's probably happening in cities all over. The youngins started like just wilding out because they ain't have no dudes sitting down saying, "Hey man, that's out of pocket. That's out of order."
Right.
And I think you know, it's the approach sometimes with younger generations that is because if I'm a older dude like, man, that music y'all making ain't nothing, blah blah blah. Then of course they're gonna be like, man, fuck you, man. I ain't, you know, like, so it created division. But if it's like, yo, let me show you some of this, let me show you some, you know, like, then it's exchanged. And then listen, at the end of the day, some stuff just wasn't quality. Like some people that got into the music business, man, might not have just been as talented, man. Let's just face it. Like it was a talent when you hear Grand Poobah. You hear Big Daddy Kane. When you hear Ice Cube, when you heard Farside, I don't care, Too Short. It's a talent and a passion. You hear Pete Rock and CL, like you hear talent. And you know, like at a certain point you could just, man, when I started hearing, I mean, I don't know what year this was, but when niggas started telling me, man, I got a record out, I just started rapping like 2 months ago.
Trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rapper.